While the Canada Post and the union tries to figure out when and how they're going to actually go back to work due to the new demands that are going to be forcing them back to work, there is some parts of the Canada Post union that say, no, we are not going back to work. In fact, they're defiant in the face of impending back to work order, which may or may not hold. We will see, but this is interesting to see some people from the union already just straight up saying we're not going back to work until their demands are met. And this article here is from the Calgary Herald. We're not going back to work. Calgary postal workers defiant in face of impending back to work order. Shocking. We didn't see that one coming. I didn't think any side was happy about the way things went down. They stopped talking. They were never able to meet in the middle. And now we have the worst case scenario. I didn't want this to happen. I don't think the workers wanted this to happen. I don't even really think Canada Post wanted this to happen. You want your workers to be happy. You want your employees to be happy about going back to work or feeling like they accomplished something. When you feel like they accomplished nothing, it could lead to a lot of bad outcomes. And we'll see if this even really sticks. So the local union president vows workers won't accept anything short of their main demands, which were shot down. Postal workers in Calgary voiced defiance Saturday, insisting they won't settle for a status quo contract, even as they confront a likely back-to-work order. At a rally attended by more than 100 pickers outside the Calgary mail processing plant in the city's northeast, a local union president vowed they won't accept anything short of their main demands and even ready to defy any directive ordering them back to work. So I guess if that happens, could they be potentially laid off? I know they were laying people off before earlier as like a scare tactic, people saying. We'll figure out what our members are saying and they'll give us directions, said Wycliffe Orderer, president of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, Local 710, which represents 2,500 Canadian Post staffers. So that is a big chunk of the 55,000. If no mail goes out, no mail goes out. Going hostage right here. Oh man, this is not going to be good. This is why I was saying it'd be better if they met to some sort of agreement. Being forced to go back to work was never going to be a good situation for anyone, including people who live in Canada. It's not good. On Friday, Federal Labor Minister Stephen McKinnon said he's referred this dispute to the Canada Industrial Relations Board, which would order nearly 55,000 to end their strike and extend the current collective agreement until May 22nd, 2025 if the board determines a deal isn't within immediate reach. And as of right now, if you have, unions speaking out like this, I don't know if it is going to happen. If that happens, then postal workers could be back on the job as early as next week. And it wouldn't be Monday. It would probably be Tuesday at the earliest, maybe. But we will see. Regardless of what happens, Odor said his members won't accept what he calls horrible conditions that are now a reality for them. We must determine the context of our next contract. We weren't out here for 4 weeks for nothing, he said. On Monday, our picket lines will be up and running, and we will not kowtow to the employer who uses the government to legislate us back to work. We are not going back. So they are determined to continue picketing on Monday. And as stated here, they said that, we didn't do this for nothing. We were out here for 4 weeks. We didn't do it for nothing. It could be nothing because at the end of the day, you're losing public supports. They were never able to come to an agreement, the union and the Canada Post. So now the government has to step in around Christmas time to try to save Christmas. But to be honest, I feel like it's too late. Like if the government wanted to use their powers to save Christmas, they should have done this a week or two ago. It's kind of too late now, in my opinion. A lot of Christmas gifts and a lot of the backlog is not even going to get delivered in time for Christmas. So yeah, it's not really that effective of a strategy, in my opinion, that the government did. With the current demand, I just don't know if it's going to really do much in effect when it comes to the Christmas gifts. But hey, I don't know. Let me know down below in the comments section. Let's continue reading this article, and then we're going to get to some comments. Postal workers walked off the job a month ago, and their latest proposal, Cup W, is seeking is a 19% pay hike over 4 years, down from 24%, and a guaranteed 20-hour work week for part-time employees. So they're trying to get, if you're working part-time, you have guaranteed 20 hours. I remember when I worked at the beer store, and that was union. We did not have a guaranteed 20 hours unless you're a permanent part-time, which means that once you get hired, you have to basically, once you've learned everything that you can and you're trying to be a full-time worker eventually, you become a permanent part-timer by doing another interview. And regardless, this is all pointless now because I think they're actually getting rid of a lot of beer stores in Ontario. They're also fighting against the widening use of so-called precarious or temporary labor. Canada Post has rejected those demands, saying the pay component would cost it $2.9 billion, while it pushed for greater use of part-time workers. Some of Calgary's posties voiced frustration over the duration of the impasse, which has left them with the strike pay that's a fraction of their normal wage. So they're still getting paid to strike. It's just not quite as much as they normally would get. What's the point? We've been 4 weeks on strike, and they're saying we're going to go back, said letter carrier Kulwinder Singh. We've lost a month's pay, and next year we won't strike because they'll just order us back to work. Well, it won't be, until May 22nd, I think, right? I don't know if they are still going to be able to strike regardless until May 22nd. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting development there. But again, their current contract that they have right now, which is going to expire, is now extended until May 22nd. So after that, then they're able to negotiate for a new raise, and we'll see how that happens. I don't know. This could be the end for a lot of Canada Post employees. I know if you guys have been paying attention to this, and if you guys haven't realized, there is a lot of job postings as well that are kind of popping up on Indeed, but that's maybe a topic for another video. Let's get to some of those comments you guys left on yesterday's video. It was fine till what came to light proved it should be illegal for them to strike. Some will say, no one uses Canada Post for whatever, but what came to light was that the strike was cutting off food and medical supplies to rural Canada. They want their raise, and they don't care who fails in the process. A complete revamp means privatization, cheap labor contractors, and abusing casuals like no tomorrow. Postal Union can challenge minister in court as violation of their workers' rights to strike. All right, let's read a few more comments here. If the workers started work on Monday the 16th, everything still in the system would still take a month or more to be delivered anyways. And I was just saying that. I don't even think that the whole point of it ending right now was to save Christmas, which I don't think that's the whole point, but I think it's like a way to make themselves look good. It's like, hey, we're doing this to save Christmas. It's kind of a little too late, right? So I don't know. Canada Post should work for Canadians. Fire the union and the CEOs of Post right now. When it is settled, there will be a restructuring with layoffs about 20,000 as the losing large amounts of cash is over. The strategy is to not cost Canadians more and more losses. The private sector will take over more deliveries. Where's their savior, Jagmeet? Bro, ducking for your friends in a fight? Not cool, bro. Not cool. And obviously that is the NDP leader who is, I guess, on the side of the union protests. And he showed up to a few of them as well. Well, that is it for today's video, guys. Again, if there's any more news to talk about, maybe I'll talk about the job postings that have been randomly popping up for Canada Post, kind of suspect. Maybe I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.
Listen, I want you to get the mail out of my storage unit.
Sometimes we don't get what we want.